What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. I want to talk about the decline of Will Smith. Apparently, a number of projects that he had in the works have now been placed on hold or may not happen at all. I told y'all that was going to be the ramifications of this situation, even though you have people who believe that it was staged, that this was all a quote unquote work. This was a collaboration with Chris Rock. And you got to ask yourself, for what? For what? And it has had a ripple effect, not only in his career, but outside of it. Right? Outside of it. And in Hollywood, you got to understand, I don't care how much of an elitist a guy is or a woman is, if you do something, you're going to be blackballed. That's just how it is. Or you're going to be placed on the sidelines for a while. And that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in Hollywood purgatory where, you're not doing the big budgeted films that's making you a lot of money and that's being seen by a lot of people. And we're going to get into this with Will Smith, but I want to say this. One of his main defenders have been Denzel Washington. I have a lot of respect for Denzel. I think that I don't think Denzel is going to have this stance a couple of months from now. I just think that in the moment, he felt like he needed to, give it wisdom to Will Smith, because I think he's very cool with Will Smith. But as time is going on, it's clear that this guy, Will Smith, is under the control of his wife. And I would understand a guy who, like Denzel, he's a black man. He's another black man who is distressed. So he wants to side with them. He wants to help them out. But you can only help people who help themselves. And when you have a man who is allowing this woman's emotions to control him, he's already lost. He's already lost. And his career could be damaged from this. Because his career had his peaks, his highs and lows. He had even spoke about it. And he was sort of gaining that balance again. But now he's losing it because he lost his mind and did what he did. And what's funny is that you got women who are praising him for it, but then they wonder why they're always in toxic relationships. They wonder why the men they date are so emotional and love to get violent with them. It's because, you think it's okay for a man like Will Smith to get up and put his hands on somebody. You agree with that. You think that's protecting. You think it's protecting for a man to put his hands on another man who's done nothing physically to you. That's not protecting. That's an emotional man being controlled by his woman. And I know a lot of you Western women love being in control of your men. And you wonder why these men never marry you. You wonder why these men never fix themselves up. They're never able to be successful at anything because you want a man you can control. And you see Jada Pinkett Smith as a woman who controls her man. And a lot of you wonder why you cannot find a good, decent man. It's because a lot of y'all destroy the men that you're with in a quest to control every man that you're with. So you will destroy the good ones until you meet nothing but rotten apples. And you're comfortable with that. Let's get into this article from, The Hollywood Reporter. This week before the Oscar ceremony, director David Leitch, a stroke of unintentional good timing, withdrew as director of the planned Netflix movie Fast and Loose, starring Will Smith. Instead, he moved on to Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling, for Universal, which is supposed to start production August. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is glad he got out of that situation before he even knew it was going to happen. A source says Netflix was competing with Universal to be the next project for Leitch, but Universal pulled ahead. According to sources, Netflix put out an urgent call for another director to take over a project featuring the star who was heavily favored to win Best Actor at the Oscars. But soon after Smith's attack on Chris Rock on the Oscar stage, Netflix quietly moved the project to the back burner. And it takes a while for movies to get produced, made, and then distributed. That takes a couple of years. Fast and Loose will tell the story of a crime boss who loses memory after an attack. Piecing together clues, he discovers that he has led a double identity as a wealthy kingpin and a broke CIA agent. It appears that Netflix was understandably wary of moving forward. It is unclear whether it will try to make the project with another star and director. Smith now has Apple Plus's slave escape drama Emancipation in post-production. The streamer had planned a 2022 debut but has not dated its release. Apple declined to comment. Otherwise, Bad Boys 4 at Sony has been in active development. Smith received 40 pages of script prior to the Oscars, but will now pause, a source said. A few other projects in pre-production are likely to do the same. Netflix did not respond to requests for comment. In his April 1st statement, resigning from the Academy, Smith said, "Change takes time, and I'm committed to doing the work to ensure that I never again allow violence to overtake reason." Smith, Gosselin, and Leitch are all CAA clients. Smith, Gosselin, and Leitch, all CAA clients. People, I told y'all this would happen. Now, people want to say that they didn't feel like this would have a negative backlash in his career. Of course it would. You know, Hollywood is very careful to push certain actors who have a certain image. Look at actors like Ryan Reynolds, right? Ryan Reynolds is a likable guy, right? He's a family man. He doesn't necessarily push like the family image, but you know he's married, he has a family. But he's very marketable. He's very marketable. Why is that? Because he ain't out here trying to defend his woman 24/7. He's not out here trying to push political statements. He's being an actor. The same thing with Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg doesn't have to do that. How come all these other married men in Hollywood don't have to go out here and defend their wives? Even when hosts of these award shows say things about their wives, they don't hop on stage and want to fight anybody. I'm not talking about those men in particular, but I'm talking about other women who've been made fun of at the Oscars. You don't see their husbands or boyfriends hopping on stage fighting anybody. And it's very weird to me how you have so many melanated women who are in support of this. They're probably the only people. Everybody else is going in on Will Smith. Everybody. Nobody sees this as protection except the weirdo, delusional females that like emotional, dysfunctional men. You see, they like this type of stuff. They like when a man loses his mind and get emotional. You look at my girlfriend, I'm gonna step to you. You know, those type of guys. And they wonder why these men are out of control and toxic and, you know, narcissists. I mean, that's what you like. That's what you like. And Will Smith showed you the type. He behaved the way that a lot of these females like their men to behave. There's nothing protecting about this. Jada Pinkett Smith has been in Hollywood for a long time. She's been in the entertainment industry for a long time. It's not like she's a civilian that is being made fun of on stage, even though there were other people who said worse than Chris Rock. This had everything to do with Jada's ego and the fact that Jada's like, oh, you ain't gonna be talking to me like that. And Will Smith hopping up to do something. Now, again, Will Smith would have only done that to Chris Rock. He wouldn't have done that to anybody else because he knows Chris Rock. Because look how Chris Rock is acting. Look how Chris Rock is so passive. Now that could all change, but he's passive, and I think Will Smith knew that, and that's why he did what he did, and that's why Tony Rock went in on him the way he did. And I posted a video about Tony Rock. Y'all can go and check that out too. Link in the description. But to me, man, you're losing everything due to being basically an emotional simp for a woman that cares more about a man who's been long deceased than you. You got people like Denzel who speak out for you, but I think deep down he knows what you did was wrong, but he's trying to be a friend to you because he understands you've basically ruined your career. He understood this. Tyler Perry understood this. Every other black actor that tried to console Will Smith knew in that moment he had screwed up. They knew in that moment he had screwed up. And they knew that it would be only a matter of time before these types of things start to happen when movie projects start to get put on hold. How are you going to be able to market those projects now? Like how? How are you going to be able to market a guy that went on stage and smacked somebody? There are people out there that don't even want to go to the movies like that, who barely watch the shows and movies on these streaming platforms they pay for. So who's going to want to go spend money? Listen, I was looking forward, even though I think they probably should have left it at Bad Boys 3. They could have. But I was looking forward to see what they do with Bad Boys 4. Now, we may never see that film. Or it may be years from now. Because, again, it takes a couple years to develop and make a film. And then put it out. Because you got to market it. You got to edit it. Make sure everything is right on it. Right? Takes a while. Don't get emotional over women who don't even love you as much as you think they do. That's why your daughter, when she was 11, was writing letters to Tupac to come and be with her mother. Just imagine the psychology in that. The slow deterioration of logic in Will Smith's mind. And look at what it has come to. Look at what it's come to. Y'all say in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. I'll put the link to the other commentaries. I'll put the video of Tony Rock's response, as well as my most recent video on this situation, Will Smith and the Oscars, him resigning. Make sure y'all like this video, share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.